Oh yeah, just get in here. Get in here. Get in here. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Good evening. Good evening. As the title says, and I'll be on screen in a minute, but I want you guys to just check out this photo I shot of Young Thug. I want you guys to just check out this photo. I shot this of Young Thug in the courtroom, ladies and gentlemen. And this is the first time I've released this photo, but without any further ado, let me go ahead and get this show on the road. So, hey, Thugger, you gotta get off my screen, Thugger. You gotta get off my screen. You gotta get off my screen. Okay, what's up? What's happening, everybody? Hey, family, how's everyone doing? Listen, tonight, after watching the trial today and watching the testimony of the former detective and current ATF agent, Racy, I had questions. I had questions that only a seasoned attorney that practices criminal law, who happens to be a two-times college professor, can answer. And no, we're not trying to just act like we understand the law like some of those other, I'm not going to call no one out. I ain't calling no one out, but I'm going to say I'm bringing in a lawyer that has over 20 plus years experience in criminal law. And guys, I always like to bring the experts, the professionals. We ain't fake no funk over here. We ain't acting like we understand. We're not telling the people, hey, if they get a new trial, they can't use none of the evidence. We're not telling those type of lies. We're giving you the facts. We're giving you the law. And we're giving you one of the most seasoned individuals coming out of New York City in the field of criminal justice and law. Ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, I have to bring on my co-host tonight, Attorney Ikiesha Al-Shabazz. What's going on?
What's going on, family? Thank you, Dennis, for that wonderful intro. I appreciate you. I like your glasses, bro.
Hey, listen, you got to protect the eyes now. Protect the eyes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, listen, sir. We got people coming in.
What's up, family? Family. Yes. Let's talk about it. I did catch a little bit. But first and foremost, before we do anything, bro, I'm going to need you to spell my name right. Seriously.
Did I type
what is that? What is that? Ikiesha Al-Shabazz. That ain't even close.
We're going to fix that. Don't worry.
Please. Ikiesha, I'm
wearing these glasses for a reason.
Yeah, they ain't working. You better clean them off. Hold on. Spell my name right. Damn.
Hold on, guys. Hold on. We're going to fix that right now.
Spell it phonetically. It's Al, not Al-Shabazz. Al.
No, hold on. Counselor.
It's wrong. Just wrong. Just wrong.
Oh, the L. Okay. I'll just get it.
Give me together.
Ikiesha spelled wrong.
Ikiesha spelled wrong, and it's Al-Shabazz.
Right.
Al.
Okay, hold on a second. Ladies and gentlemen.
Of the Shabazz tribe.
Who did this?
Who did that?
I don't know.
Wait, you lucky I ain't got no damn sound effects.
Hold on a second, guys. Listen. We're gonna fix this. We're gonna fix this. Hold on a second, yeah. Is that a dash there? Let's see. I got this thing right here. Okay.
Get it together, bro.
Yeah, I know. To talk to the people. Why we fix
talk to the people? Okay, people. So I did. I'm sorry, I haven't been around. I miss you guys. I am teaching college and law school classes, and at the end of the semester, it is the most busy time. That's when it's finals. So I am in the thick of it, grading papers, reading essays, and so I haven't had time. So I'm happy to be with you all tonight. I did take a pause from reading essays today, and I did catch a little bit of the trial. So I think Dennis queued up some parts so we can talk about the evidence, the law, what should be happening as opposed to what is actually happening.
Right. What should be happening. Right.
What should be happening. And I am seeing some egregious, what we call reversible errors. I really think that this trial, if some way that they are able to get a unanimous verdict, of guilty on any of these counts, I cannot imagine that verdict will hold up on appeal. Like and so this is an exercise in futility. That's what we're doing right now. And the people of Fulton County who are funding this fucking charade should be pissed off. They should be outraged. Seriously. This is ridiculous. And just what this trial is costing Fulton County alone, right? And the fact that they haven't produced any credible evidence in 75 days.
75 days of trial, but we're not even going to talk about the jury selection process. That was 10 months.
Right. Not even outside of that. 75 days of actual testimony in so-called witnesses and purported evidence. Let me say it like that. And these young people are being held without bail. That's the real tragedy. And I'm going to say that every time I speak about this case, because that is the real tragedy. And we are supposed to be a nation of laws where we respect the rule of law and the presumption of innocence. And if someone is presumed innocent, why are they sitting in jail without a bail? It's a fucking sham.
Interestingly, there was a lot of talk about Pee Wee Roscoe, Jeffrey Winfrey, and his involvement. And he actually took a plea.
Right.
In the case, he took an Alfred plea in the case, shooting up Lil Wayne's bus.
Right.
Now, I listened to the call. We're going to play the call. We all need to listen to this call because there was a lot of things happening in that call, and the way the prosecutor was able to convince the judge to let this thing come in, which all the attorneys protested.
Their heads are spinning around. They're like, we're in the twilight zone.
Yeah, we need to get Mr. Winfrey in here and let him tell us what he was. What did this call mean? What this call mean?
Exactly.
He took a plea.
Complete speculation by a witness who's not qualified.
Right.
To make such speculation.
Jimmy Winfrey, not Jeff. Jimmy Winfrey.
Right.
Pee Wee Roscoe. That's Pee Wee Roscoe. So I'm gonna bring the video up right now, and let's just bring this up on the stage.
Where can you get our work tomorrow?
Jim, you know what?
Yes, ma'am.
You don't need to be saying too much shit because they recording everything you say.
I know there ain't nothing wrong with me, Auntie. I was just asking.
Okay.
In that car, you right by what you're saying, but it's like I'm doing something. I'm not doing nothing.
Okay. Well, whatever. I'm just trying to tell you they record everything you say.
I know that.
They're trying to turn it around and use against you.
Hey, man, I got that.
Pretty much.
Okay. So for that call, do you recall the date that call was made?
June 5th.
Okay. And why, and let me ask you, this is the relevant portion. Did you provide the entirety of that call to the state?
Yes.
Why was this call relevant for you in your investigation?
The discussion of the vehicle that we believed was involved in the incident at hand.
Now, was the male Mr. Winfrey?
Yes.
At the time, did you know who the female he was speaking to, who that was?
I suspected who it was. Later get confirmation through the investigation, but I suspected who it was.
Okay. When you confirmed who it was, who's the woman who's on the call?
Mr. Winfrey's aunt.
How do you get to it's mind-boggling.
Now, did you hear Mr. Winfrey in the call make reference to the studio?
Yes.
Do you know did your investigation reveal what studio that car was at prior to it not being at the studio?
I believe it to be at the vault at the Metropolitan Parkway address.
And in listening to that call, did you hear a reference for someone named Paul?
Yes.
Did your investigation ever reveal who Paul was?
That's going to be Mr. Winfrey's uncle who's deceased, but the vehicle's registered to him.
It was registered to Paul?
Correct.
Now, I know we talked about the dates of the call. Do you remember the time of this call?
We said it was at 8:40 p.m.
And this is in 2015?
Correct, 2015.
What address was the vehicle registered to?
It was Adams Drive, 1670 Adams Drive in Atlanta.
And what type of car was registered to an individual by the name of Paul?
It's the Camaro in question. It's Camaro Z28. I believe it's a 2015, like brand new.
And did you hear them speak of the Bank of America?
Yes, I did.
Did you learn if Bank of America financed this vehicle?
They did. It was financed by Bank of America, correct?
Leading the fuck out of this witness.
Right. Leading them. It could have been Wells
I
Fargo.
want to take you to the next call, which is on June 6th.
Leading, again, you telling him what day it was, and then you're going to ask him what day was it?
Come on, Miss Simone.
And for the record, what is the date and time of this call?
You just told him.
June 6,
Did you
2015
see what I'm saying?
at
What kind of
5:10
Jedi mind
PM.
trick shit is this?
What I'm gonna say, you talked to Rashad.
Yeah, I talked to him right there. I called him, make sure he good. Can go check on your hot seat and all that.
What did he say?
He said she good. He put his money over there. You know, everything's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't eat ham. I don't eat ham. I eat pork. I just don't eat ham.
You want me to holler at him?
Yeah,
Hey,
tell
how
him
you
I need to park my car at my auntie house in their house.
I do eat
Go
pork.
take it to my brother's house.
What boy you want?
Huh?
So you wanted that Joe?
Yeah.
Uh,
I gotta, when I get back, I gotta go get with the man, because, you know, my uncle just got
Oh, okay.
the death certificate back. So, yeah. So, now I got the bank, they either send down money back to give us another car, like the money that we don't pay.
Yeah, I don't eat pork.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Now, I know some of the words were kind of mumbled. When you listed a call, did you find anything of any evidence you value in that call?
Yes.
What was it?
Well, they stated something to the effect of wanting to move the car
Something
to
to the
the, like
effect.
the auntie's address.
Something to the effect.
And why was that important to you?
Well, I mean, we're trying to, if I was trying to recover the vehicle, I need to know where it's at to be recovered. So that's giving me a potential address to try to go recover evidence.
All right, let's listen to the call on June 6th at 22:30.
What's the problem when he says something to the effect? What is the problem with that?
He's speculating.
Right. And they should have objected to that.
That's right. And if it's in evidence, it speaks for itself. He's not an expert.
And for the record, what is the date and time of the call?
Pause it.
June 6, 2015 at 22:13. So that's 10:13 p.m.
He's not an expert. He should not be allowed to
Yeah, I just
interpret
left.
what this call means.
What he did?
Say that again. I'm sorry.
He shouldn't be allowed to interpret what the calls mean. He shouldn't be allowed to authenticate whose voices are on the recording under 901. You don't have personal knowledge. You're not familiar with these people's voices before you listen to this. How do you have any independent verification that this is who they say they are?
Right.
This is classic hearsay.
Right.
Classic hearsay.
Right. Something to effect sounds like, well, I heard something different.
Right. And that's the problem with what he's doing, is because if I hear something different, who's to say that what I hear doesn't trump what you hear?
Absolutely.
Right. And then it becomes a battle over whether you heard it accurately or not. That's one of the testimonial capacities that you should cross-examine on. right? This is ridiculous. This is, oh my God. It's just so bad.
Would you
It is so bad.
Let me ask you a question. With audio evidence like this, would you bring in is this such thing as an engineer or someone that's can interpret this? I don't know.
No, I see. I live by what I say. You never get in front of the evidence, but cross this witness to death because he doesn't have personal knowledge of this. So on cross, the question should be: when you listen to this, did you listen to this with someone else? Did you have an interpreter? Do you have a transcript of it? Right, because you said something to the effect of, so you're not really sure, right? So you're just speculating as to what this means. You're not exactly sure, right? Because that's what a lot of this is happening now. The speculation before with respect to the call that we're going to listen to where he's telling the girl something about get the paperwork so it can show that I work for YSL. Did that ever happen?
Right. It never happened.
It never happened.
Amina Diop. She's an industry vet. I know Amina.
And how does he get to authenticate her voice? How does he again? It's fucking mind-boggling.
If they're gonna play it, let him play it. It should stand on its own. You don't have to interpret it if you're
the evidence speaks for itself.
Right. Absolutely.
Well, my car.
Oh. What? He parked.
Yeah, it's in the garage. They brought it over on a tow truck. He said he needs to know how to get them minutes so you can call him.
I'm gonna call him when I got on the phone with you. What time is it, Auntie?
It's after 10. It's 10:18. What time you supposed to be out the phone? 10:15, right?
No, 11 o'clock, they say tonight, or 10:30. I'm in the car with Rashad, and I'm going to call you back. I'm making my last call.
Oh, okay.
I love you.
Love you too.
So, Ike, that car is the car that was outside the compound. He drove it outside the compound. So the officer that were previously testified, that was Gaither. Correction, it was the other officer that was Ty Dennis, who testified that he saw Roscoe driving the car outside the compound, and he recognized him and so forth. So,
right.
Where you that call, Rashad?
Okay, hold on. I ain't saying your number in the phone.
Huh?
I ain't saying.
What up, God?
What's the word you do, what I'm saying?
Appreciate that, brother.
Oh, yeah, man. I'm just drop that on there too. You get what I'm saying?
They were acting lame.
I guess so. Slim Nine called me, told me.
To go get it.
Yeah, so I go get it. And somebody, told me go get it and whip it. I said, nah, I ain't gonna whip the ball. I'm gonna do it the other way.
Yeah, gotta get it right.
You dig what I'm saying? I just did that.
Hello. Hey.
Yeah, Auntie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the car is in the garage.
I know.
Now, when you heard this call, was it significant for you in your investigation?
It was.
Why?
They're now stating that the vehicle is in Auntie's garage at her address.
And at this juncture, do you do anything with that information knowing that the car is in Auntie's garage?
I do.
What do you do?
I authored a search warrant and proceeded to the Fulton County Magistrate Court and applied for it and was granted a search warrant in reference to that vehicle at that location.
Okay. I want to take you to Byron call on June 6th.
What's crazy? The aunt tells him in the beginning of the call
not to talk.
Not to talk.
I know.
He tells him, tell him this.
And that never works. Never work. And listen, I've been doing this for over 20 years, and I always tell, don't say anything. Don't say. And you know what they do? I didn't say anything. All I said was,
And you see how he authored a search warrant to go to the house with the car's at.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens.
And for the record, what is the date and time of that call?
June 6, 2015, 1958 hours.
Okay.
So that would be 7:58 p.m.
Yeah. Yeah, Roscoe, you did what the fuck I'm saying. I ain't doing shit, man. Just holding it down. Just got to stay on all these niggas. Yeah, I go to court on the 16th or the 17th. But my lawyer, what the lawyer say, we?
They were gonna try to get it dismissed this week.
They don't file for a motion. I'll just call and checking on your ass. What you got going, baby? Tell everybody I said what it motherfucking do. Hey man, you won't believe this shit, dude. Motherfucker got down Yak, know that this nigga got about 50 pictures of Yak and Malik on his bunk, man. Little young nigga. He got a picture with Yak.
What's your name?
Hey, what little buddy name, man? Little light skinned boy. He be with little Bell Simpson. The light skin. What that light skinned boy name with the dread? Peso. Yeah, Peso. Yeah, little young nigga. Yeah, we partied up, man. They got the town. Huh? What you say, bro?
You understand?
You understand? You dig what the fuck I'm saying? Hey, boy, you sure got the town on lock, kid. These folks ripping the hell, boy. You hear me, man? These folks ripping. Man, no bullshit, man. These folks love that little motherfucker. Ain't no death, no gotta slide. Man, they treat nigga like the Pope in here, man. Yeah, you know, your main motherfucker, man. You understand?
Got it.
That's your dude, boy. Oh, man, the whole joint. Look, everybody got stars right here.
Now, you know we pay for waste, right?
Yeah, hey, man. It's still good. These folks love your motherfucking ass down here, man. No Jeff, fuck up.
We were better for the justice. I was for the justice. You see what I'm saying? Then we ended up winning. So I was out
there. These folks know your motherfucking ass, boy. Listen, dog, the whole motherfucking joint, brother. These folks slime out. Everybody slime, bro.
He said they keep it like the noise.
Yeah, man, for real. Hey, listen, man, everything in slime out, boy. Everything. Man, them folks ain't going back and forth about your motherfucking ass down here.
Say, look here, man. Everything in here slime out, man. Everything.
Listen, man. A nigga got a picture of Yak, Malik, the whole motherfucking crew on one of his beds, little nigga, little Peso. He got a picture called Yak and Malik, the big homie. They call you the real big homie.
That's my little homie.
Yeah.
Hey, Peso. He 100.
So, Ike, Yak Gotti is one of the defendants in the courtroom. So, I think she's going to start pointing out that he's one of the people that is tied to YSL. But let's listen.
Yeah, the little nigga, hey, Yak, nigga, he's strong. He got, the man got the YSL on his back and everything.
Damn.
He turned up. These folks got the YSL in the star, in the 5-star. The man got a picture. When I seen your picture, I'm like, hell, no, this can't be Yak. He like, but this my phone. I ain't going.
Oh, tell him that out there.
Man, listen, this Yak right here. Yo.
What do? Come on, we ain't been showing up. I said, we wish what the hell they come out.
Shit, I ain't come out nothing, bro. Got nothing really. They just got them rhyme. They got a court date for that month at the beginning of the month. So shit, hopefully by then they let me out of something. Hey, like, yeah.
Hey, make sure Roscoe good, man. I've been trying to get in touch with you anyway, Peso.
Yeah. You know, I got him, man. This is my boy, man. You know, I got him.
Well, no, y'all nigga ass up, man. What's this thing? Roscoe.
That what's up. What is? Hey, yeah, you got your hey, yeah. These folks singing y'all music, bro. It's on God, man. These folks singing the music, man. The folks beating the whole wall down from 11 to 5 in the morning, man. I ain't singing none of that line shit, boy. The whole dorm. The whole dorm sliding down.
Straight up.
Man, what? These folks love y'all, boy. No Jeff, no cap. Hey, I can't be around this town. Cap like that. You the last motherfucker I expect to see, man. Folks got a picture of your motherfucking ass on the bed, man. Yeah, man, my big brother, man. You know, he got a picture of you, Malik. I think you was at the Found Blue. Yeah, we had that weed outfit out.
No, that's Yak and Park.
Oh.
The stone outfit. You had on the stone outfit. Yeah, man. Nigga holding it down. Nigga be out there, motherfucker, man. No time. Step back for a major comeback, you dig?
Okay. And that concludes at 5:20. Now, did you hear them reference a person named Yak?
Yes.
Do you know who that individual is?
The names came up in the investigation, but I don't recall like his real government name.
Okay.
At this point in time.
You came to testify about this fucking call, and you don't.
Did you
Come
hear
on.
the term or them discuss people slimed out?
Yes.
Through the course of your investigation, did the word slime become significant?
Yes.
How?
Our foundation.
Oh.
I'll sustain support. You can rephrase, ma'am, or you can lay it on your foundation.
During the course of your investigation, did you learn of a gang called YSL?
That's the same fucking question.
And what was your understanding of what YSL stood for?
Your Honor, this is any testimony that I don't believe is under 701 or 702.
That's right.
But we're not. I'll overrule your objection, sir. You can have a continued objection, yes, sir.
Yes, through the course of the investigation and prior to this investigation,
I knew what
YSL.
So his objection 701, 702 is the expert testimony under which federal rules, which is pretty much Georgia models the federal rules of evidence. So under 701, a layperson can testify about things that are in their personal experience that doesn't require any technical or scientific knowledge. 702 says that only an expert can testify about scientific things like that is outside of the ordinary ken of the average juror, right? And so what Steele is saying is that he's not an expert in any capacity.
Right. So 702.
Right? He's not an expert, and there had been no foundation laid to have him deemed an expert, which would require a foundation. A foundation is a set of questions that are asked by the prosecution that would show that this witness has the education, background, and experience to offer an expert opinion in this field. And he doesn't. He doesn't have that. And they know he doesn't have that, which is why they didn't try to qualify him. But instead, they're just trying to circumvent the rules of evidence and have him offer what is essentially an opinion about YSL. This is not. This is improper.
That was the argument early on. You know, he said, "Wait, what? You got this guy, and he's not an expert." Before he took the stand this morning, he's not an expert.
Right. Right.
So why is he even testifying?
Right.
And
why is he? Yeah.
Well, if he comes on that line, then he'll make his ruling. You see, we just did.
Yeah, but okay, we'll see.
And I knew it to be Young Slime Life.
And so, when you heard the term in this call, is this one of the calls that you pulled?
Yes, it was.
Did you make note of what they were speaking about inside of that call?
Yes.
And what was significant for you out of that call?
So then, of course, referencing the names, referencing multiple people with stars, 5-point stars, saying everyone in the jail, Cobb County, is slime. Just referencing Yachty, Duke, I think I might have mentioned that. And then someone having a YSL tattoo on their back. Yeah, that was just a number of the things that I heard.
So they need to eat his ass up on cross.
Yeah, I
Like
was about to say-
seriously, on cross. So everybody in Cobb County Jail is slime. Do you think that that's accurate? So you would say that there's a lot of exaggerating on these calls, right?
Right.
In fact, come on, they're being super hyperbolic on these calls. Everybody in Cobb County is not slime. You know that that's not true, right, detective? That's got to be like the line of questioning, right? And so you know that some of what was said on that call is not true. It's not accurate, right?
Well, I think this will be
What the worst part of this is what I don't understand is okay, so that everybody understands. Hearsay is a statement that is made out of court that is offered for the truth of the matter that's asserted in that statement, right? This is classic hearsay. They're saying what is being said in the statement is true, and they're offering that statement for the truth of what's said in it, right? Which means it should not come in. Now, there are exceptions and exclusions to the hearsay rule. The prosecution arguing that these are what's called co-conspirator statements. Under 801 D2E of the Federal Rules of Evidence, co-conspirator statements are admissible against co-conspirators if those statements are in furtherance of the conspiracy. The statements have to be in furtherance of the conspiracy. It can't just be talking what you hear still talk about. It can't just be spilling the beans. We can't just be talking about the things we've done. It's got to be in furtherance of the conspiracy. So I don't hear that. I don't hear any of that on the call. And I don't even hear any criminality. If I heard, yo, the car, make sure you get that to the chop shop. Make sure you get that over to so-and-so so they can make it, you know, disappear. Make sure you get the car over to them people, you know, take it over to my aunt's house and put it in the garage. Sounds like put it up for me because I'm in jail and I can't drive that shit.
So to your point, how do you think this guy was able to swear out a warrant? What did he have to say in that warrant to get a magistrate to sign off for him to go to the house? And what was he searching?
He had plenty of evidence once he listened to the call. If he's looking for the car because he believes the car, or he has evidence that the car is involved, even though I saw on the chat someone said that the witness said that the car was a Corvette, not a Camaro. I guess that's not a non-factor, but I didn't see that part of the testimony. If you can go to a judge and say, listen, there was a shooting in this car that was involved in the shooting. We overheard that the car is at the aunt's house. That's probable cause that there would be evidence that
at that residence.
At the residence. So that's nothing. He didn't do shit. He didn't have to do much.
Just listen to the call.
Right. But how is that in furtherance? I haven't heard how that's in furtherance of YSL activities, criminal activity, criminal enterprise, this racketeering, this conspiracy. I haven't seen that. In fact, one of the calls, the guy doesn't even have lawyer money.
Right.
He's like, I'm trying to get this money. You hear him talk about a death certificate.
Yeah.
Right. Somebody died and left him some money. He's trying to get this money together. If you was YSL, why isn't Jeffrey bailing you out?
Well, we're going to find out. We're going to find out all that during the cross, I would guess.
I hope so, because I've been very disappointed on their crosses. I feel like, and I get it. I know what it's like to be beat down when you try something and you get blocked every time you get these ridiculous, frivolous objections by Miss Love, which have absolutely no basis in the law, and they are sustained by this judge. I get that it's frustrating, and all too often I see them abandoning their line of question.
Yeah, but they still got to perfect the record. They got to object.
Not just object. Don't abandon the line of question.
Right.
Don't abandon it. Don't abandon it. Ask it a different way. Ask it until you're exhausted every possible way you can ask that question.
Absolutely.
You know, don't abandon it because they are missing some really important points because they're abandoning the questions. And I get how frustrating it is, but you can't abandon your line of question. You got to fucking push through, man.
So, ladies and gentlemen, that's the value of having a college professor who teaches this, so we can, so we can understand what the heck is happening here.
Yeah.
You know, don't listen to those over there talking. No, they can't use evidence in a new trial. What are you talking about? Anyway, let's go.
Did you hear a portion of the call where the individual yet gets on the phone and tells someone
She's
to roll out
testifying
the red
now.
carpet for Rossi?
Right.
Can't
Yes.
do that. That's improper.
Is that a term or phrase that you've heard during the course of your police work with Cobb County?
Well, yes. I mean, rolling out the red carpet isn't just in law enforcement. That's used in common vernacular as well.
And what was your understanding of what rolling out the red carpet?
Objection calls for hearsay, not beyond the jury also.
Overruled.
It's staying.
I'm gonna sustain the objection.
What?
Yeah, you can't. You have to. You have to.
She's been asking that same question the whole time he's there. What's your understanding?
Outside of what
So
we
how
already
is that
discussed,
any
was
different
any
than any other question?
in this call?
Not that I can think of.
Well, are you going to feed him some stuff?
Now, you talked about the 5-point star. Why was that significant to you?
I know it through my training and experience, and that 5-point star is related to
Jewish people.
the larger
God,
Bloods
David.
criminal street gang.
Well, no one objected.
No, they have a standing objection. That's why they're not objecting.
Now, after hearing these calls on June 6, 2015, you talked earlier about getting a search warrant in order to go look for the vehicle.
That's fine.
Did you ever go to the home and go to try to find the vehicle?
Yes, I did.
Do you recall when did you execute that search warrant?
I mean, it was as soon as I listened to these calls and as soon as I got the information, I pretty much immediately acted on it. So this call was June 6th, so it would have been within a couple weeks, couple
What is the
days
warrant?
after
You don't have
June
it? You
6th.
don't know what day it was? What do you
And
mean?
where did you go to execute the search warrant?
The address of the aunt's house, the 1670 Adams Drive in Atlanta.
And Byron, do you recall the time of day that you went to the home?
It was nighttime.
Any reason why you went at night versus the day?
I mean, I worked the evening shift. I heard the information. I authored the search warrant and I immediately went. That was just the time of day that it was. I had to apply for the search warrant with the magistrate court here in Fulton County. Just how long it took and time I could get there.
Were there other law enforcement officers with you?
There was?
Were they all from Cobb County?
No.
What other law enforcement agency assisted you in the search of the search warrant?
With the Atlanta Police Department?
Specifically, do you recall if Investigator Gaither or Investigator Dennis was present during the search of this home?
No, I believe they were busy. Investigator Jason Summers, also with the gang unit. And then I think some patrol officers just for uniform presence went with us. But a representative of the gang unit went with us.
Non-responsive. You didn't
Was there
answer,
anyone
but
home
Gaither
when you
there?
executed the search warrant?
No.
Yes.
Who was home?
The aunt.
So
Do
they
you
rolled
recall
that.
anyone else?
They rolled that deep.
I think it was just her. I can't remember anyone else being there. We mainly dealt with her if there was someone else that was there.
I know this is some time. Do you remember what her demeanor was when you got to the house?
Oh, she's polite. She was polite. I don't remember her being.
Did you?
Hold on. You care to respond, man?
I can move on.
All right. I'll sustain the objection.
Yeah, of course.
Did you find it? Did you find
you
anything of
agreed
any
to
evidence you value when you went to the home to execute the search warrant?
Yes.
What did you find?
So the vehicle, first off, was there. It was in the garage.
All right. Did you take any pictures of the vehicle?
Yes, we did.
Have you taken pictures of where you found the vehicle?
Yes, I did.
Did they take the car?
Sorry.
I don't know.
You had them, but I didn't show
I
them
don't
to
like
you
that
today.
outfit. I don't like that outfit. I don't like them shoes. I don't know what's happening.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
I'm sorry. I can't help it. You know how we are. I don't like what Miss Love got on today. Grumble.
She's saying that, Miss Love, not me. I love what you're wearing.
Whatever. This is, you got to be in court, so you can go ahead and lie if you want to.
Oh my God. Hold on. She already accused me of trolling her.
Ain't nobody trolling her. You are not that special.
He's looking at the evidence.
I would imagine they saw those pictures already. I know they're not just seeing these for the first time. That can't be like, what is this? I don't even understand what this is.
They want to make sure that they ain't slide nothing up in there. You know,
I would imagine that, but I mean, it shouldn't take that long for you to flip through a couple pictures. I mean, first of all, how many do you have of the same thing? That's cumulative.
You know, I don't want. You know what I don't want to do? I don't want to speed through this because last time I lost my place.
I got you. Okay, you troll her. She had to sit him. I love y'all.
So someone says Sheen at it. Is that a store, Sheen? Is that a store?
Yes, it's online retail.
Oh, okay. I know what they had to sell.
At least they ain't say it was a Temu suit. Temu suit.
You know, I bought a pair of socks from Temu.
Hold on, I got to turn my heater down.
Listen, I think that Temu makes clothes for the midgets because I bought some from Temu. You know, always in your social media timeline. Never again. No more Temu. Let me see if I can go past it just a little bit. Oh, don't take that long looking at pictures. What are you doing?
That's what I'm saying. It's like they act like they never seen them before.
Okay. There we go.
I'm going to start first with 141 through 147.
Sure.
If you look at the picture of 141,
Actually, look like they heard.
Okay.
and how do you recognize this is 141 through 147?
These are the photographs that were taken at the Adams Drive address when we executed the search warrant.
And are those a fair, accurate depiction of the car as you found it at the Adams Drive location back in 2015?
Yes.
You're right. This time to say like the 160, 141 to 147.
Voir dire. Come on, Adams. Voir dire.
You said 141?
I'm sorry, let me tell you, 141 echo to 147 echo. Exactly.
All right. All right, any objection to stage 141 through 141 echo?
Your Honor, as to 141, 142, and 143, I do pose an objection. I do not have an objection to the others. If you can look at them when you get a chance, they are photographs of a court document purportedly search warrant. That's all they are. The other ones are what's depicted in the garage. So that's why I'm objecting to the first three.
They got pictures of the search warrant?
Can I see 141, 142, 143?
Yes, Your Honor.
Sit your ass down.
Your Honor. Thank you, sir.
That's ridiculous. He ain't supposed to be doing that.
Right. He did that 3 times.
He's not supposed to do that. Where's the court? Where's the court staff?
Right. I saw that cover. I thought that was kind of odd.
I don't like it.
Explain to the people why that's the problem. That's important.
Because it makes it look like the witness has some familiarity with the judge in the court that he shouldn't have.
Right, and the jury's looking at this. The jury's right there.
Yeah, he shouldn't be interacting with the judge in that way at all.
Right. Because it's just
appearances, everything. You never know what a juror is going to take from, interactions in the courtroom. The warrant is hearsay.
Right. You authored it.
The courts can admit, because there's no objections to 144 echo, 145 echo, 146 echo, 147 echo. They're admitted may be published as you see fit.
It's like he's making it up as he goes along.
Judge, I didn't say that.
I said it. I'm standing on business. I said it, and I meant it.
Detective Racy, or Agent Racy, I should say, I'm gonna hand you back, states 141, 142, and 143 echo.
Sure.
When you were executing the search warrant, did you take those pictures?
I did, Your Honor.
Are those pictures of the search warrant that you left at the residence?
They are, Your Honor.
All right, I'm gonna admit them over your objection, Mr. Steele.
Your Honor, I understand application of hearsay to that objection.
Yes, sir. It's overruled.
Unbelievable.
Is there permission to publish 141
Yes,
through
and
147?
141 through 147 echo are all admitted to be published as you see fit.
Thank you. And Agent Racy, whichever one's easier for you, on the side or behind you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. First, looking at 141 echo, what did you capture in Stacey Exhibit 141 echo?
This is a photograph of the search warrant that we're required to leave on scene to show that we had
that shit.
legal permission to be there and to do what we're doing, albeit blurry in that
You
picture.
can't even see
And
that.
looking at 142 echo, is that the second page of your warrant?
Just the second page, correct.
All right.
It's not even
Looking at
signed.
143 echo.
Not signed by the judge.
That's the back of those pages, and so that's just an inventory of the items that we seized, which we were required to leave on the scene upon executing the search warrant.
The second
I'm
page
looking at
was signed. Right there. Right
43
there. Where
echo?
the judge's signature is supposed to be.
That's the
Let's see. Let me go back. Let me see that signature here.
That,
Let's go play right there.
right there. Yeah. You can't see that.
And looking at 142.
Oh, what's that right there?
You can't see. That's the first page of the warrant. You can't see it. You can't see what it says. You can't see what the location is. You can't see what is authorized to be searched.
We see a signature there on the bottom.
You can't see what that signature is. You can't see the print on the bottom to see what the signature is supposed to be. This should not be allowed into evidence because you can't tell what it's purported to be. You took a picture that you can't even see.
Okay.
That's terrible. Next
Echo, is that
I don't see a signature there.
Right, and I see Judge there. It looks like
You see Judge, right? You see this.
yeah,
Who
Judge.
is the signature?
Yeah, that's Judge. Judge.
Somebody.
That's Judge Manning. It looks like no I don't know. No, she wasn't around back then. She
So
wasn't.
is this a copy? This is an unsigned copy. You left an unsigned copy with them? I'm not
Where's the signature?
understanding.
Wait a minute. Where's the signature at?
Yeah, I'd like to know that. I'd like to know that.
I'm gonna ask him tomorrow. I got the exhibit. Where's the signature on this warrant?
Yeah.
Well, the judge looked at all this. The judge looked at all this.
And
Yeah, let's.
they better cross on this.
the second page of your warrant?
just the second page, correct.
All right. Looking at 143 echo.
That's the back of those pages, and so that's just an inventory of the items that we seized, which we were required to leave on the scene upon executing the search warrant.
Okay. Looking at 144 echo.
So that's just going to be a picture of the outside of the residence with the garage open and the vehicle there in the garage in question.
That's a Camaro.
145 echo.
Right.
Again, that's just a picture of the vehicle in question.
And is that the aunt standing by the door?
I believe it is, yes.
I'm looking at 146 echo.
And there she is
Is that
testifying
just the front
again.
of
Is
the
that the
vehicle?
aunt
Just the front of
standing
the
at the
vehicle.
door? You
Trying to
can't
take
do
all around
that.
photos, but limited with space, so it's kind of awkward, but the front of the vehicle.
And why were you trying to take all around pictures of the vehicle?
Just documenting it in place as we're seizing it, just to document it, but also claims of damage, claims of stuff. There's multiple reasons why we try to document items of value.
Okay. 147 Echo.
Just the license plate of the vehicle to document, obviously the identity of the vehicle, for lack of a better term, what vehicle we're seizing.
To the vehicle.
And is this the same license plate tag that came back to the individual you talked about, Paul, earlier in your testimony?
Correct. This license plate is registered to this vehicle, which the registered owner is Paul, that I spoke about before.
And speaking about Paul and the jail calls that we've heard so far, were those individual calls or were those all one call with different
Objection
times?
compound.
Those were separate calls, I believe, if that's what you're asking.
Yes.
Yeah, you don't even know what you're asking. That's why the question is problematic.
Found the vehicle at the home. What, if anything, did you do with the vehicle?
It was impounded. It was towed back to the Cobb County Police headquarters garage that we have.
And why was it towed to Cobb County?
To better process it on scene in Cobb County versus trying to search it there at a residence.
And once the vehicle was towed back to Cobb County, what, if anything, did you do with the vehicle?
We executed a search warrant there at that location.
Why did you have to get another search warrant to go inside the vehicle?
We moved it from the jurisdiction of Fulton County into Cobb County. And so it's our regular practice just to author and have approval to search it in that location since we moved venues.
And do you recall how soon after it left from you finding it at the home to you taking it to Cobb County that you searched the vehicle?
I'm not sure if it was that night here as we're sitting here now. I would have had to have authored the search warrant again in Cobb County. So
you don't
it
know.
might not have been that next night. It might have been like the following day.
You don't have no knowledge.
Did anyone assist you in executing a search warrant on the vehicle?
Yes, I would have had the crime scene unit process it in the garage.
And when you execute the search warrant of the vehicle, did you take pictures of the car at that time?
The crime scene tech would have taken the pictures with me present, standing there.
I'm going to show you what I'm showing
What
you.
happened?
This count is basically with 148 Echo through 162 Echo. Tell me, flip through those, tell me if you recognize 148 Echo through 162.
Mind this is over 10 years ago.
Right.
I'm sure you don't remember this picture.
Or 2015, right?
Yeah. 9 years.
I recognize them.
And how do you recognize them?
It's in our evidence garage, and it's the same vehicle in question, and these are the photos that were taken there when we executed the search warrant at that location.
And are those a fair and accurate depiction of the pictures that you took back in 2015 when you processed this car?
Yes.
You're right. This time the state license is 148 Echo and 162 Echo.
Any objection to stage 148 Echo through 162 Echo?
Not fair and accurate at the picture. It's fair and accurate what's depicted in the picture.
You know that first of all, you look at all that, then 157, 160, 161, and 162 are writings.
That's it, please.
Thank you. What is this? Why?
You said you want to approach it?
Hold on. Now, that should have been handed. Well, I don't know.
Where's the court staff? Why
I've
aren't
never
they?
seen that since I've been watching this trial. That a
That's the
witness
second time he
has
did it.
done something.
Yes, that's the second time, and no other witnesses have been doing that.
Yeah, that's a problem because I've never seen that in this trial. I've never seen a witness pass the judge anything.
No. Where's the court? Where's the bailiff? Where's the court officer?
Oh, he's in there. He's right. He's by the jurors.
He should be walking that evidence over to the judge and walking it back to the witness.
Yeah.
I understand, sir.
Did you say you wanted to approach?
If that's okay with the court.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. Get up out of here. Get up out of here. Agent, you have to leave. Wait a minute.
He wasn't trying to leave. He was like, let me get my water.
I get my water. I think the judge is told to leave.
Have some water right now while I ear hustle a little bit.
Yeah,
Get your ass
I'm
out
gonna
of
go past that. We ain't gonna get a chance to see that.
here.
Go past that. Sidebar. We can pass all this. Okay. Going back a little bit. Just a little bit. Right there. About right there. Here we go.
All right. Ms. Hilton, they may be published as you see fit.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'm first with on 148 Echo.
Of course they can.
That is a horrible color suit. I'm just sorry. It's hideous. It's just.
I love it. I love it.
Brown, to the brown, to the brown.
I love the color.
To the brown.
I would be in the fashion police.
Polyester suit.
Listen, I'm not doing this. I'm
Now,
not
looking
doing
at
this.
Stacey's exhibit, 148 Echo, where were these pictures taken?
Oh, shit.
That's 140 North Marietta Parkway in Marietta, Georgia. And that's in the evidence garage. Headquarters is now moved for Cobb County Police, but that's the old Cobb County Police headquarters evidence garage.
And as we're looking at 148, 149, and 150, did you take similar angles in the vehicle similar to what you did when the car was in the garage?
Yeah, cumulative.
Yes, the
That's
crime
why it's
scene.
cumulative.
Yes.
And is it for the same reason to
That's why it's
again, show that there's no
cumulative.
dents or no other damage?
That's why it's cumulative.
Yeah, and just document the vehicle fully as well. Yes.
Okay. Looking at 151. Okay. And 152. And then 153. What was significant about why you took or had the crime team take pictures of the inside of the vehicle?
So, we have a search warrant for the vehicle for evidence,
Assumes
not
facts,
just the
not
outside, but
evidence.
evidence
He
potentially
never
on the
said
inside
that.
as well. And so we're going to photograph the evidence if there is any evidence, or the vehicle itself, if that's evidence, as it's sitting presently when it was seized.
Was there anything of significance to you when you opened up and looked inside the vehicle?
So there were the floor mats were not present, and we could see kind of like lines in the on the carpet.
Why was that of note to you?
Well, it looked like the vehicle had been cleaned.
I'm looking at 154 Echo. Is that the same taking picture of the interior, what you noticed?
That's correct.
155 Echo. And then 156 Echo. What was your purpose of going and looking inside the trunk of the vehicle?
Same thing, just looking if any evidence is back there. Here we find the floor mats that had been removed, and we start seeing some of the lines that they'll look horizontal for us here, but if the floor mats were in the car, it'd be up and down lines.
That is dumb.
What is he saying?
157 Echo. Is that still further inside the vehicle?
That's correct. It's just the trunk, correct?
All right, and 158 Echo. Still the same, just inside of the car?
That's correct.
What are you looking for? Blood or bullets?
Be nice to know.
Shell casings.
They didn't check for no gunshot residue.
Same thing?
Correct.
And I'm going to ask you to look at your version of 160 Echo.
Okay.
Not telling me what it is. Did you find paperwork in the vehicle with Mr. Winfrey's name on it?
I did.
Do you recall where in the vehicle you found that paperwork?
I think it was in the glove box. I'm not positive 100% as I sit here now at this moment.
You don't have a report?
And now looking at...
I don't understand.
What's the report at?
162.
Where's your report? Where's the inventory report?
Well, he went from APD, Cobb County to ATF. So he went from
You still got to do a report. You got to
Is this
document
additional paperwork you found inside the vehicle?
Correct.
And in looking at the complete document here, was this document in the name of a particular person?
Yeah, the complete document, yes.
Who?
Jimmy Winfrey.
Now, with the car, did you ever have the car processed for any fingerprints?
Yes.
Did having the car processed for fingerprints assist with your investigation at all?
No.
Did you ever have the car processed for gunshot residue?
Yes.
Did anything about the gunshot residue testing that you had done, did that assist in your investigation?
No.
But you see how he lined that up with the car looked like it had been cleaned.
Right.
Why didn't either the fingerprints or the gunshot residue assist in your investigation?
Why did it? Or
Why did it not?
Why didn't it? I'm sorry.
The floor mats could have been wet and they put them in the trunk. You know, the mats could have been.
Speculate. He's going to speculate.
Yeah.
They don't. Well,
it didn't.
So it didn't yield any fingerprints or GSR.
Faces.
The bull coming case.
The what?
The bull coming case. BULLCOMING. Confrontation clause.
Oral, sir.
So why it didn't help in the investigation?
Let me ask you this. When did you get the GSR test done?
It was following, obviously seizure of the vehicle, but I don't believe it was on the same night we processed it, on this date.
How much time passed?
Yes, sir, you may.
So you gotta go. We fast forward because we're not gonna hear that. Okay.
I don't understand why he doesn't have paperwork with specific dates and times that these things were done. And was the car continuously in your care and custody and control?
May I continue on?
Yes, you may.
How much time passed from the time that the shooting occurred to the time in which you processed the vehicle?
Weeks.
When you say weeks, let me ask you this. When was the shooting?
April 26, 2015.
And we're looking at a copy of your police report, how professional it is.
Sound like months to me.
It would have been in June, but I can't look at my police report.
If you turn to state to the 171.
88, ma'am. Okay.
Did that have refresher memory as to when you executed the search warrant on the vehicle?
Yes.
Excuse me, let me be clear. The search warrant at Cobb County Police Department.
Yes.
When did you execute the search warrant at Cobb County Police Department?
June 12th.
She gotta tell him.
Is that approximately about a month, a little more than a month from the time of the shooting to the time you processed the vehicle?
It's fair to say a month and a half. Correct. Yeah.
He said weeks a minute ago.
Given your experience, previous to any of your investigations, have you ever tried to obtain gunshot residue testing?
No.
Why not?
Cobb County Police Department has a policy.
He said he sent it for GSR testing. So
Foundation, 1, 2, relevant.
I don't move those objections on those grounds. Objection on the grounds of bolstering. Oh, sir, that was Mr. Matthews. Yes, Mr. Sharp.
Your Honor, this gentleman is not, to my knowledge, not an expert in gunshot residue.
Right.
the same Steele already made that objection. 701, 702.
You can object accordingly. I'm going to remove the objection for now.
What is
Cobb
wrong
County
with
Police
this
Department
guy?
has a policy to not do gunshot residue tests. We don't have any gunshot residue test kits, but I was requested to do so in this case.
And given that it was about 2 months between, or almost 2 months, when you actually had the test done, did you expect to find GSR?
Objection. He's not a fucking.
Right. The inspector from
Got a sustained one. Finally.
Why is it with Cobb County that you don't do GSR testing?
Objection. They don't know what to do when he's sustained. She's like,
oh, you know, Ms.
And I go back to my original question. Did
you're gonna go back? Then it's asked and answered. What we doing?
Mm-hmm.
Did anything about doing the fingerprint test or the GSR test assist you in your investigation?
Asked and answered.
I will take you to June 13th. Did you list any additional jail calls in this case?
I did.
I'm going to play for you, listen to a call from June 13th.
Okay, let's fall. Let's hit the play button.
Looking at the exhibit that's on the stand, what's the date and time of this call?
June 13th, 2015 at 17:39, which is 5:39 p.m.
Yeah, he called you.
Yeah, you on the phone right now.
What's up? Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to click over on that three-way. I got this cheap ass phone. I'm gonna have to go buy a new one when I get the cash. This shit ain't working on three-way. But I'm here in the street park right now. I'm getting off all that stuff. You stay on the phone.
I'm finna call him. What's the number? 583. What's the number?
Hold on. 44583-1990.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. I just text. So you want to call us?
Yeah, they at Creel Park. I'm here that night. The neighborhood, the free rock.
I know that.
Yes, sir, nigga. We out here, nigga. Campaign going strong, man. I got my bankroll, my outfit on right now, man. Ask your mama.
Okay. Where you at?
Yeah.
Dial that number. That 583.
How long you call?
Call it back.
All right, hold on. Hello?
Yeah.
on. Let me get the next phone.
Who is it? Hello? Hello? Hello. Hey, hurry up and...
I'm on the phone. Let's see if got you on hold.
I ain't watching the supposed to talk. I'm supposed to cover with y'all. Hold on, I'm gonna get a cup.
Okay.
Hello?
Hello?
You did.
Hello?
Hello?
You can sound like the rude neighborhood.
Turn
I'm not even in your motherfucking room. You know what I'm saying? I wish you fucking here right so.
I know it turned up. I know y'all having the ball, man. I ain't doing shit. I'm having motherfuckers just holding me down. I say I ain't doing shit, just high man sitting right here holding it down. You dig what I'm saying? Turn it. Yeah, no, hey, man. Motherfucker, the talk of the country, kid. You handling your motherfucking B.I., Jack. Ooh, man. Yeah, motherfucker, baby. I knew a big B with a few C's, you understand? Man, I know y'all bitches turn.
Ain't no few nothing. These for 5, 600 D, he for 1,000 D.
I know it. They tucked up like that. Folks out there like that, Joe. Hello? Yeah. You ain't doing no motherfucking wrong, serving them like an entree. You dig what I'm saying? Hold it down for me the way I know you. You got to turn up. I done called everybody. They popping the bed. You know, I took over the motherfucking IG. That's because my fucking brother. I ain't doing shit, man. I know y'all be like up. You did fight. You know that nigga. Smoke one for me, man. You did what I'm saying. I know y'all turned. I said, I know y'all be turned up out there. Man, tell everybody I love them. Yeah, we coming back.
You did. Yeah, you called at the right time, did you?
Yeah.
What's going on, Charlie?
Man, holding it fucking down. You dig what I'm saying? They said it's a gangster holiday out there, man. I had to call and send my condolences and my respect. You dig what I'm saying? Give a fuck if I'm under a rock.
Yeah, we fucking fuck you, nigga.
No, man, you know, this is the first one on. You know,
we can't go nowhere. I had overheard somebody say we can't go nowhere. We weren't allowed. I'm just gonna pull up in there.
Man, you don't know. When I say you global, we ain't talking global imports. We mean international, man. Passport tattooed the fuck up. Ghetto to ghetto, city to city, coast to coast, like neighborhood but a toast, man. Yeah, too strong to be approached, you dig what I'm saying? Yeah, we're wrong with them big. Yeah, you spinning like a ceiling fan everywhere. Yeah. Oh, man, what? Yeah. Oh, man, I've been afraid we been hit these folks there. Shit. Yeah, you definitely doing it. I said, let me call my brother, man. Y'all be turf, boy.
We get on the business side. Eat it up. Eat it up.
No bullshit. I just got my ass up, man. I was tired of here, boy. I slept in there 2 days, dog. I said, I'm going to fuck it. Yeah.
Yeah, man, got a Roscoe campaign going on, indeed.
Hey, man, I know one thing about my motherfucking bro. When he do it, he gonna do it. You dig what I'm saying? Yeah, only right. Man, I know
we doing it too, man.
You did crush the town.
I told everybody.
I said, you crushed the town,
everybody Everybody who says free Roscoe, everybody who sings free Roscoe, they get it. I'm putting them on my page. Make sure y'all get it.
Hey, sir, man. Sir, them people, kid. Yeah, don't spell, man. Tell them we got spell tires in the trunk. Tell them, man, we ain't spare tire in the trunk, man. I forgot you ride run flat, man. Your tire don't get flat. Yeah, you can still ride. Hey, man. Hey, man, when I get out, man, go and set my appointment up at Dr. Jeffrey Jones. Yeah, I'm coming like slime. You dig what I'm saying? Hey, man.
You gonna drop? I might drop
man, I already know we dropping the bomb on these.
I might drop this week. So
That is the worst.
it's already.
Oh, it ain't even over.
I'm gonna do that free Roscoe campaign for like 5 strong, all day. Every video, every picture I say free Roscoe. All day, gonna do a fact.
Got it, yeah.
Then we're gonna drop that bitch. Bob. What's your name?
Bob, sit down. Don't get out the fucking way.
You need to call.
I'm out.
So we can see, I can get you recorded so you can just talk this shit on the front, on top of the car.
Okay, you deal with the fuck I'm saying. Yeah, I gotta call cell phone direct how I did, so y'all can accept this shit.
Yeah, you gotta do it. So that's what he gets.
Well, shit, man. I love y'all, nigga, man. I was calling, checking on y'all, nigga. I'm finna, the shit got 60 seconds left. I'm gonna hang up and call y'all back. I know y'all nigga balling, man. You know, I'm right here with your fucking ass. You dig what I'm saying? I'm on you like you fucking bricks, nigga. You hear me?
Let's do it, man.
I love y'all, nigga, man.
Yeah, I hear you. Okay, copy.
You hear me?
Yes, I love you too.
All right, bet. You did.
What I love you, bro.
What's that, Jack? I'm gonna do what that nut fucking love you call. You putting on, you do the fuck up thing. You did. I know my motherfucking nigga was out there. The hell did you talking about? You did with the fuck up. Hell did you talking about? I already did know.
This is where it gets.
Well, I love y'all. Now I'm gonna call y'all back about. Huh?
Yeah, call back with the cancel, bro. I love you.
I love you, babe.
What? I don't.
Now, in hearing that call, did you hear the phone number in which the person was supposed to dial to get to this phone call?
Yes.
What was the phone number?
I believe it was the 404-583-1990.
Oh God, that's the worst fucking sound. It's like chalk fucking on the board.
What?
That squeakiness.
Is that the same phone number that's calling Mr. Winfrey multiple times the night leading into the morning of the bus shooting?
Yes, it was back and forth that night.
Oh.
Now, did you come to learn who was the male individual that the phone was passed to on this phone call?
I probably have to refer to my report.
Look,
I can't remember off the top of my head.
Oh God!
Don't leave them.
You need to look at you just need to direct the page.
You came here to testify about this. Do they?
Did he learn? Did he learn who was that individual?
Right.
Still on rejection, Mr. Steele.
Of course, Judge.
Yes.
Yes,
Let me
what?
ask you this question before.
Can't get a question.
I didn't pose it yet.
So what
As
is
it
he saying
relates
yes to?
to the Free Roscoe campaign, did you hear him talking about the Free Roscoe campaign?
I did.
Yes.
In talking about the Free Roscoe campaign, through the course of your investigation, did you ever find an individual who launched the Free Roscoe campaign?
I did.
Okay. Who was that individual?
Jeffrey Williams.
And how did you learn? Let me ask you, did you pull that information from social media?
Correct.
Oh my God. How is that fucking reliable?
And in that call, was Mr. Winfrey speaking with someone who talked about this Free Roscoe campaign?
Yes.
Stop leading him.
At the time of this call, were you familiar at all with Mr. Williams' voice?
Yes.
How? That's the next question. How? How are you familiar with his voice? Unbelievable.
And in listening to the call, were you able to determine who that person is that Mr. Winfrey is speaking to on this call?
Yes.
Who?
Jeffrey Williams.
He never says how he knows this. It's unbelievable. Right. Everything on the internet. Like, oh my God.
The female that answered the call first. Did you ever identify or learn who that person was?
At that 1990 phone number?
Yes.
I believe it's going to be one of Jeffrey Williams' relatives, female relatives, a sister.
You believe?
Do you know which one, or just know which one of his relatives, one of his sisters?
It's the last name is Greer.
What does that mean?
I want to take you to June 28th.
Wow.
Jail call. For the record, what is the date and time of this call?
June 28th, 2015 at 15:27 hours. So that's 3:27 hours. Or PM, excuse me. 3:27 PM.
In the morning, he said he did all the stuff he supposed to do. He emailed these people, called these people, but he figured that Monday morning when he gonna probably hear something.
Who you heard that from? Hey, call Manny for me.
I heard that from Dylan.
Call Manny, then call. You talked to OJ, or nephew?
No, I talked to Amina, and I told her.
What she say?
I told she want to call her when you want the phone.
Call her right now.
Hold on. Hello? What's up?
What's going on, Jack? I ain't doing shit. These people put me in 23-1, but I'm supposed to be getting out of here in a couple of days. But my lawyer came and talked with me, and they indicted me and gave me 30 charges.
You say he what?
I said I talked with my lawyer. They came to see me. The people indicted me on the 25th, and they gave me 30 charges, like 15 counts of aggravated assault, street gang, all that bullshit. Did my lawyer call you?
You said, did who? The lawyer?
Yeah.
Nah, but my traffic attorney, Kevin, said that his friend, his best friend is their attorney.
Yeah, what did he say? Is he a good attorney?
Yeah, well, I know Kevin is great, so I'm assuming that his friend is good too.
Yeah, so I got to get the people on 40 or 50 grand. He wanted 100, but I told him I got to work out a payment plan with him. So I was going to try to borrow 25 from y'all, and then I was gonna, cause I got a little money from the insurance left that my uncle left me, and I was gonna give him the other 25 that way. Yeah, and when I was telling the nephew, they pulled me out. They made me come to PC, and shit with the DA, all them people trying to come up here and fuck with a motherfucking message. I ain't said none of that. So I'm just shit. But my lawyers came and seen me and stuff. And the lawyer is Manny and Lawrence Zimmerman killed, boy.
What's his name?
Lawrence Zimmerman and Manny Aurora. And the dude clear Lawrence. Yeah.
Ike, someone has a question. Ike.
Mm-hmm.
Still had a question for you.
Go ahead.
It's on the screen.
Yes, I do. I think he's very biased. Absolutely. He is not a neutral magistrate, which is what we all want when we are trying a case. We just want a fair trial. We just want someone who is not going to be a second prosecutor. That's all we ever ask for. And he has been so completely, ridiculously, obviously biased from the way he treats the defense and how he allows the prosecution to have speaking objections, how he allows the prosecution to push back on his rulings and allows her to continue just speaking ridiculously for no reason. And he doesn't give that same energy to the defense. He doesn't allow them to speaking objection. He doesn't allow them to push back on his rulings. In fact, he has outright lambasted them. He has castigated them in public in front of everyone, called them unprepared, unprofessional. You don't do that. And he's done that in front of the jury. Incompetence, absolutely wholly. And I question his command of the rule of evidence. I question it because I see some of the rulings that he's making, and you can't possibly have a command of the evidence and rule this way, right? Why even take the chance to have your potential conviction overruled? Why?
Overturned.
Why? It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't. Play it straight down the middle. But he's not doing that. He's not doing that. And anyone and everyone who I've seen watch this trial has come away with the same impression of this judge. And clearly he doesn't care because he hasn't changed his behavior. He hasn't changed the way he interacts with Miss Love. He allows her to get away with all manner of improper shit that she should not do and she should not say in a courtroom. And he doesn't reprimand her. And when it's time to reprimand her on those instances where she gets called out for the things that she's done, instead of him reprimanding her, he does everybody should tell the truth in court. No, address her specifically. Don't make it a global event because this is just related to what she's done and what she said in the courtroom. Time and time again. Ridiculous. This has been a sham of a trial. It's not what as an educator, as an academic, as a professional, this is not what we want to be presented to the world as the evidence of what the law looks like. This is not right. It's not right. It's not right.
Well, you asked for you asked a question. She answered it. So
I sure did. I don't pull no punches. I've been doing this a long time. And I've been in front of some really amazing judges that have been completely neutral. And I've been in front of some judges who are absolutely second prosecutors. I've had judges write questions for the prosecution during a trial. I've had some of the worst judges during my career. And this judge is up there with them.
Oh my goodness.
He is. He's absolutely He is not even listening with any real meaningful, attention. He just overruled. It doesn't seem like he's even giving the defense, the time of day when it comes to their objections and their arguments. I don't see it. Every now and then he'll throw them a bone, and that's just so that, it doesn't look too bad. He's got to have some saving grace.
That ship has sailed already. It looks very bad.
It does, right? And you're saying it, and you're in the courtroom. It looks terrible. Yeah. It looks terrible. It really does. And honestly, I don't know what's going on in Georgia, but someone needs to investigate him and Miss Love. There needs to be an investigation. Somebody needs to check their text messages, WhatsApp, Telegram, see if they've been having any personal conversations, communications, if they have an outside relationship. I'm very curious about that, because we know that Fulton County, y'all with the fuck shit. All right. This is Fonnie Willis. So we already know that she has a very warped understanding of the rules of ethics. And so they're playing fast and loose in the court, and it's not cute. Look at you disclaiming. Disclaim all you want. Disclaim all you want, because listen, I stand on it. They're giving him the law and he's ignoring it. They're giving him cases. They're citing statutes, and he's absolutely ignoring it. And what I don't understand is, it's not as if this evidence is coming in subject to connection to other evidence, right? Because that could happen. Sometimes you have evidence come in and you don't necessarily right away understand what the relevance of that evidence until other evidence comes in. And so when that evidence comes in, it comes in subject to the connection of the evidence. So it's conditionally admitted,
right?
And it has to be connected to some other evidence that makes it relevant. Here, this evidence, it doesn't seem like it has any relevance. These seem like isolated incidences, and these are calls that don't seem to be in furtherance of this conspiracy that you're talking about. It doesn't seem to be. I don't hear anything. And the questions that I think that on cross, I'm hoping that they will ask of this detective, when you did a search, because they didn't talk about it. They did a search and all you got was a piece of paper. You got a piece of paper, it was an invoice. Did you get anything else? Did you get any YSL merch? Did you get any merchandise? Did you get anything that indicates that this was a vehicle that was used by a YSL member? Was anything like that? Nothing. So I don't see it. I don't see how any of this evidence is coming in. And the fact that this judge has the temerity to, at one point, I heard him ask, I think it was Mr. Shard, or I'm saying his name wrong, Shard, yeah, ask him about whether or not evidence would come in, or he would do something, or he would make a particular objection if they were in federal court.
Right, I saw that. And Mr. Shard said he doesn't practice in federal court.
But none of this would happen in federal court.
Right.
This wouldn't happen in federal court. Absolutely not. 611, you have to control your courtroom. You control the presentation of the witnesses, and you can tell the prosecution, listen, this is the cutoff. I'm going to give you, you got 10 more witnesses, 15 more witnesses, and that's it. He could do that.
Right.
He could limit them. He could stop allowing all this cumulative evidence that is absolutely evidence of nothing, and wasting these jurors' time.
Yeah, pretty much. Let's continue.
I agree.
Yeah.
He does give Miss Love beach.
Yeah, but if they can't do it, just let me know, and I just have to go my way about my auntie.
All right, Lawrence Zimmerman, I can see.
Manny is the man who, that I be dealing with, because I deal with.
What was it? Manny
Aurora. His number 445789444.
57890 what?
9444.
44. And who is he?
That's Manny Aurora. That's my lead attorney, the guy that I always deal with. That's him. But he gonna give me a better understanding, you know what I mean? Because Lawrence told me a book, damn, when I told him, my lawyer told me, you know, everybody be on the same page. But shit, I ain't doing nothing. I ain't gonna call nobody while I'm up here.
Right.
They try to put me in PC, make it look like let's get all over there. Man, folk playing outside game, they come get me at 4, 5 in the morning, asking do I want to talk with you. I said, I can't talk to nobody without my lawyer. So they left me up here for 3, 4 days, and I only get to come out an hour a day.
Yeah, they doing that though also for the high profile anytime, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know that, but the only time you go in PC is when you fill out the forms and ask for that, you know?
Yeah, that is the way it is.
It's just a mind game.
I don't know. Yeah, it's probably so.
Yeah.
And to make everybody else get nervous. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, why he in PC? Why you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think other people start getting nervous too. So, yeah. So.
There ain't no other mind game they playing. Yeah. So I was just letting motherfuckers know what was going on. Shit, my sister, she had called Duke phone to let him know what was going on. I'm just dealing with this shit, but hopefully my lawyer, I'm supposed to got him in a couple of days because the colonel, the person running the jail, the person that made me come to PT, Colonel Prince, and she don't want to allow me to get out of here. And my lawyer said, so shit, I'm just dealing with this shit day by day. I went tripping being by myself, but you know, motherfucker get closer to God. And, you know, I read the indictment papers, man, and shit, all some bullshit. He say, she say.
Mm-hmm.
So shit, we just waiting, and I might go to court, because I was going to court on the 30th, so I'm not going to court. It might be 3, 4 months, because we're going to rush for the speedy trial,
So Ike, the person that he's talking to is Amina Diop.
Yeah.
She is a well-known industry executive.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm wondering is, are they going to try to, you know, because she works Thug's Project.
Mm-hmm.
But she's well known in the industry in Atlanta, so she's a big player. I don't know. This might be a problem for the defense, in my opinion. That he's, you'll hear something that he asks her to write a letter, but she doesn't do it.
Right.
Or put something together for him so he can use for whatever reason.
Right.
Yeah, let's see if I can see what happened with it.
Yeah.
But I was just letting you know what was going on. So.
All right. So, what do y'all want me to do? Call these people?
You can call Manny at the Manny or my sister, and if any the Manny and Manny gonna go to Lawrence. Both is 3 attorneys.
Okay.
And them motherfuckers, man, that shit crazy. They indicted me with 30 charges, street criminal gang, and all that shit. So Manny was like, like I was telling you, how they try to make it like YSL. This shit is an enterprise.
Mm-hmm.
I might need to drop a paper saying, that I work, which is right. You know what I'm saying?
Oh. Okay.
So it don't make
I got a little puppy.
Oh, congratulations. Yeah, man.
I'm in here. Thank you. All right. I'm going to call him. He's out of town, but as soon as he gets back, then I'll let him know what's going on, and then your prescription give us a call. Sit down, yeah.
All right. If you don't mind, you can give Manny a call today or tomorrow just to let him talk to me and touch bases. So they don't think a motherfucker playing on the financial end.
I'm going to call him today.
All right, I appreciate you. I'll call you tomorrow.
I got you, though.
Days. I see my lawyer or my sister call you and keep you posted with everything. I really
all right, hold your head.
You have no question. Keep me.
All right, thank you. I will. And I still try to come up if I can. If you can't get busy still or no?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, I'm going to come up here.
But I'm going to try to wait to get back to population before I do all that shit.
Okay, then.
All right, thank you, love. 11 o'clock, I push my time back. Yeah. But call Duke on there indicted me. When that shit was, fuck with that. I got 30 motherfucking charges.
Why jail people repeat themselves so damn much?
Yeah,
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I hate that part.
That must be on some shit like. It's like the same charges over and over. I got 12 aggravated assault. They been counting the number of people and shit. Yeah. Yeah, I got whatever racketeering there. I got 3 or 4 of those. Then I got street criminal gang. I got some of my YSL enterprise of the street gang. When I got told I got paper, I work for YSL. I work with them. So man, I'm gonna roll them. Yeah. Then got told all about the Lil Bird, man, Lil Wayne lawsuit, all that bullshit. Yeah. But that's what's going on. So my lawyer said it'll be a minute before I go to court. I'm gonna rest for a speedy trial. So yeah, what was it? So we so the thing ain't cool. And then another thing, we shit let Amina know they got paperwork up in black and white. So, you know, that I work for the company. That's not gonna look like street business.
What's happening?
Okay.
He's doing a 3-way call.
It's a 3-way, yeah. So when Amina said, I'm gonna let him know he's out of town right now.
Now, listening to that call, a couple of questions. Did you hear him reference an individual named Amina?
Yes.
Okay. And had at this time Amina come up in your investigation?
Yes, and the subscriber records.
And for what records was she the subscriber on?
It was the 1990, and there was the other phone number, like 95. The other one's leaving me at the moment. But yes, 2 of the AT&T records that came back as YSL Enterprises. She was the registered party.
And at the time, were you aware of what her role is or was with YSL back in 2015?
No, at that moment, I didn't understand what her role was, no.
Did you learn of her role for YSL?
I mean, eventually.
What was it?
So she's kind of like, I guess, the person running the legitimate business side.
Objection. Legitimate business. You know what to characterize.
Did you hear Jimmy Winford ask Amina to get him on some paperwork?
Yes.
Was that significant to your investigation?
Sure, absolutely.
Why?
Well, I mean, the last statement he said kind of sums it up. He needs paperwork to make it look legitimate and not, in his words, street stuff.
He didn't say that.
So he was trying to legitimize his association with YSL.
That wasn't his words.
That was not his words.
And listening to the call, did Mr.
Mischaracterizing the call.
Read his indictment prior to making this phone call?
Yes, correct.
And at the time, do you know what he was charged with in the indictment?
Yes, of course.
What were the charges that he was charged with?
So he was charged with 12 counts of aggravated assault. He was.
Sure, I would object. Basis. It's hearsay. The indictment itself is hearsay.
Sorry. Go ahead.
So what the question was, what were the charges in the indictment? He was correct. There was 12 counts of aggravated assault. There was RICO charges. There were Street Gang Terrorism Act charges based on those predicate acts. And I think there was a domestic terrorism charge in there as well.
And with the Street Gang charge, do you know what gang he was charged with being affiliated with?
Yes.
What gang is it?
YSL.
Your Honor, that's,
What's your objection, sir?
A is wrong, but B is hearsay.
It is this statement of the document.
I didn't hear
What's your objection basis, Mr. Sharp?
It's a misstatement of the document. The indictment does not say that.
I didn't. You're right. My question didn't ask what the indictment said. I asked him about what gang he was being charged with.
That's the same thing.
What gang?
So the gang, ultimately, the subset is YSL.
Subset. Now is a subset. Come on. You just making it up as you go along?
Yes.
And the judge has the nerve to act like he's frustrated that the defense is objecting. What's your basis? What's your reason? What? They're supposed to object. That's their job. And you don't have any temperament for that?
That's their job. Your Honor.
Unbelievable. He's disgusting. He really is. He's just disgusting.
Hold on. Hold that thought. Hold that thought, Ike. Hold that thought. Let me respond to you.
Yeah, put it up. Not trying to get sued. I'm entitled to my opinion, baby.
No, I'm just.
You don't want to sue me about my opinion.
Hold on one second. Let me. We don't have to do the whole sidebar here. Hold on. You see Ms. Love right up in there. Ms. Love, you don't need to be up in there.
Ridiculous.
We took a break. Hold on, bathroom break.
He asked Amina to put him on the paperwork, so it looks like.
Start from the beginning of the argument because it's
this is the argument where they
signed Agent Reese. Okay, all right. And since our tech died at the bench, that's just old school. All right, so State, I think you were about to respond to Mr. Seals' assertions about the indictment and YSL being our witness testifying about them being a criminal street gang.
Yes, Your Honor. So first, there was the assertion that Investigator Racy had to be a expert to talk about the fact that his investigation led that YSL is a gang. That he does not need to be an expert. That is what his investigation revealed. Within the indictment, Your Honor, while the specific charge identified the blood gang, when you look at the preamble or the background of this indictment, especially the RICO charge, it talks about YSL and YSL being a blood gang subset. And my next question I was getting ready to pose to him before the objection is, you said subset. Tell me, what do you mean? So he could have elaborated as to what was contained further in the indictment, which was in the charge it says blood gang. However, he knew and learned from his investigation that YSL was a gang. Why is this important? If you listen to this call, Your Honor, he talks about in the indictment that it said YSL Enterprise. And so at that moment, he asked Amina to put him on the paperwork. So it looks like, well, he tells her, I need you to put me on the paperwork. And then later on, he tells his girlfriend, remember to tell Amina, put me on the paperwork so it doesn't look like street business. And so what I have to get the witness to testify and the jury can believe or not is, well, what did you understand it to be before? And why is that significant that he needed to be placed on paperwork so it can look like it's not street business?
Yeah, I remember us talking about this last week. So
it puts the call in context, and that's why we went into that line of questioning.
Anything further, Mr. Steele first, and then Mr. Shaw.
I already decided he's not going to let them do what Miss Love does and talk him into changing his mind.
We covered this already, so.
Your Honor, I don't understand how Mr. Williams is having a trial that's fair.
I'm sorry.
I don't understand. From my perspective, Mr. Williams is not having a fair trial. I cannot cross-examine Mr. Winfrey. Now, this witness is telling us what he means by having things not look like street items.
Shit, I remember.
Okay.
Okay, so.
I don't understand how any of this is coming in. Amina Diak is not a witness that the state is calling at all. I don't have a burden, you keep telling me, which I know the law, but you keep telling me that, but it feels like I have a burden because I have to clean all this mess up. And
if you choose to do so, sir. And that's your characterization of it. So
the indictment, quote unquote, redacted is a farce. This thing has, I don't know if you looked at your copy. There's blanks here that identify Jeffrey Williams. I mean, you'd have to be a deceased person not to realize that the indictment is charging Jeffrey Williams in it. And the state just goes on like, this is no big deal. You know, I have a big deal. This entire case should have witnesses who are competent to be cross-examined, and they don't. I again object. This gentleman is testifying. He has no basis in saying what Jimmy Winfrey meant or didn't mean. The recording, because of your ruling, speaks for itself. He shouldn't be able to interpret it, just like I can't interpret it. And it was never even done. What the jurors won't know is that Amina Diab didn't give any paperwork.
You should let them know that on cross.
In fact, what they don't know is that Jeffrey Williams, because the state won't probably play it,
you
a
could bring
recording
that
with
out
Jeffrey
on
Williams
cross.
where this detective asked Jeffrey Williams.
Well, hold on, Ike. He can bring that out on cross,
right?
But again, he doesn't have to even present a case if he doesn't want to.
But that's not a basis for an objection, because you actually have to cross a witness, because you have to elicit information that the prosecution is not, because the prosecution is not going to elicit all the helpful information you think that they should. That's not what you should be arguing. What you should be arguing is that my client has a constitutional right to confront the witnesses against him. This witness does not have the proper personal knowledge to authenticate the voices on those calls.
Right. And he also said,
he's not saying that. He's not saying that. Authentication 901, 902. Say that.
Amina Diab is not even on the prosecution's witness list.
This is what I'm saying. So how does this witness, how is he familiar with her voice? In order for you to authenticate somebody's voice on a call, you have to be sufficiently familiar with their voice. You have to have heard it a number of times in the past so that you can say, I've heard it before. I can compare it. I was familiar with it then. And when I heard it, I recognized it as the same voice from when I heard before. He's not doing that. None of that foundation came out, and they're not making that objection. That's my problem. They're not making that objection. He's grandstanding. But he's not making a legal argument. That's the problem I'm having. It's not enough for you to just get up there and grandstand. The judge doesn't care about you grandstanding. The law is, this is a constitutional violation. This is an authentication violation. They're not making that argument.
Does Jimmy Winfrey work for you as your road manager? And Mr. Williams laughs and said, are you ridiculous? I have real legitimate people. So all of this is the state of Georgia getting out a theory that is not based in fact, and it should not come into this courtroom. This entire Since the state has been allowed to say, does this help the investigation? This case has gone south. Maybe it was south already, but it has gone so south, I can't do anything. Those are all my objections. I'm moving for a mistrial. I have no idea why this gentleman got to say Amina Diab works on the legitimate side of the business. We're presumed innocent. He has no right to say that. Right. And then this indictment is so all hearsay under the Brown case, State versus Brown, which some court agreed with. Yet the
jury. That's the argument. This witness is making and drawing conclusions, right? That's the role of the jury. So this witness is now usurping the role of the jury by drawing the conclusion that they have the providence of doing. Right. He's not making that argument. He's not making that argument.
But for the witness to say that this is she handles the legitimate side of the business, obviously
he's characterizing, right? He's characterizing the business. That's improper.
Absolutely,
it's improper. But he's not saying that. He's not saying that, and this judge is not going to give them anything. Like I've seen this judge. When there's an objection, I've seen him overrule on basis from one defense attorney and sustain the same question on a different basis from a different defense attorney.
That's not good.
And so what that means is that if you don't have the proper basis, even if it's a legally inappropriate question, he's not going to fucking sustain it. And he should sua sponte. That means on his own. On his own, if it's legally improper and you don't have the right grounds, you still should sustain the question. you should still sustain the question. Sometimes grounds aren't obvious, right? And the rules say if the grounds are obvious, you don't have to state what the grounds are.
So that's the rule. If it's obvious.
If it's obvious,
Okay.
but it's seldom obvious, right? It's seldom obvious. And if you really want to properly preserve the record, you would state your grounds every time. Every time. As many as you can.
Not a stand. What about the standing objections? I'm not standing objections, but the continuing.
Yeah, they got a continuing standing objection. I still would object.
Right. Okay.
I would still object, one, because I need the jury to know that I think that this line of questioning and this evidence is improper. Right. So the standing objection is one thing, but you want the jury to know that you find these questions to be improper. And so I would continue to object, even though I have a continuing objection or standing objection.
Absolutely.
State's using the indictment as a weapon. They're saying it says it in the indictment. Mr. Winfrey played Alford. He's not testifying. You let it in as a statement against his penal interest. Well, that's only against him. He's not on trial. It can't be a co-conspirator statement because it is a statement that does not further any supposed conspiracy because it spills the beans. So for all of those reasons, I mean, we could just use one, but for all of those reasons, I named 3, 4, 5, or 6. I'm respectfully asking the court to strike all of his testimony that goes into anything anyone else said and the investigation, and let's wipe this slate clean. And please, I just want to go forward and have people to cross-examine.
This is the second time you've made the same argument, sir. I understand it, and it's your right to do so. All right. Unless you have anything else, Mr. Shart.
Your Honor, of course, I agree with what Mr. Steele just said about Jimmy Winfrey's plea being coming in as evidence against the rest of us when he is not taking the stand. But I'm going to go one further than Mr. Steele because in their line of questioning, they are asking about the indictment that Jimmy Winfrey pled to. And the jurors are following what they're talking about. They're asking about the indictment, their indictment, the plea. And then they say, and what gang was involved? And then the investigator's going to say YSL when we can all look at this indictment, which shouldn't be coming in evidence in my estimation. But if we're going to let it in over our objection, at least let's be honest about what it says. It doesn't say YSL. He pled to the count.
The preamble say YSL?
He pled to.
Does the preamble say YSL?
Preamble?
Does the preamble answer my question, please?
Sure, the preamble does, but
okay,
not
all right. So you have to read. Okay, you have to read the preamble in conjunction with the counts. It's just like it's similarly situated to the preamble that you have in this indictment.
But he pled to specific counts, Your Honor.
Okay, but that doesn't mean that the factual predicate of the preamble doesn't apply, right?
Well, I suggest that.
Does it apply or not?
I disagree with you.
Does it apply or not?
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
It does not. He pled to specific counts. And the state really missed an opportunity because they should have made this indictment 3 times as long, and they could put the whole story, the whole narrative in this document that we are not defending ourselves against, and we cannot cross-examine, and they could have put it even more in front of the jury. This is the way we're going to
Okay, all right. Your second argument as to this as well. Okay. Anything else, Ms. Holton?
So dismissive.
He's so dismissive.
Your Honor, I think the state has.
This isn't a really huge issue.
Given the jail call that we just listened to, Mr. Winfrey himself referenced the indictment and referenced him reading of it. And so all of my questions followed through based upon that jail call. Given that this was an open pending investigation at the time that this jail call was made, this is relevant area of what was relevant to Agent Racy at the time when he heard this jail call, which is there was an indictment, it was open, and now in the midst of his investigation, Mr. Winfrey is asking to be put on the paperwork. We can infer it's the legitimate side of the business. Now, if Mr. Steele wants to argue that Ms. Diop was not a part of the legitimate business, they've been arguing throughout this entire trial that YSL is a music label. So that would be the legitimate side of the business. If their argument is no longer that
so
doesn't exist,
disingenuous what she's
then we
doing
can
right
move
now.
on. But for the purpose of this call references him trying to get put on paperwork so it doesn't look like street business. Paperwork, legitimate. Street business, not legitimate. And so we are trying. This became relevant to him, Your Honor, and given all the reasons that we have.
You have to bring in Amina Diop and ask her what does she understand him saying? You know, how does she interpret it?
Well, here's on cross. Detective, did you ever talk to Amina Diop? Did you ever interview her about this call? Did you ever find out whether or not she ever provided any paperwork? Isn't it a fact that she never provided any paperwork to this individual? Okay, so all of the testimony you was talking about that phone call really didn't amount to anything, right? Because he didn't get anything from YSL. In fact, isn't there another call where, in fact, Jeffrey Williams says that this person doesn't work for him? Right. This is the same person that said everybody in Cobb County is slime, right? Right. So this is the same person we know that exaggerates on the phone, that tells lies on the phone, that's hyperbolic on the phone, right? You would agree with that, right, Detective? Right. Tear their asses up. They too nice. I'm telling you, I'm not. When I
before, this wasn't spilling the beans. This was him trying to cover the conspiracy, which was him shooting at the bus. Involving Mr. Dwayne Carter.
How do you get all of that? That's just ridiculous.
She went from here
to stretch, right? Like you bootstrapping the fuck out of this evidence. That's crazy. I mean, the law allows you, circumstantial evidence allows you to draw the natural inference from a set of facts. But it's got to be a natural and logical inference. You can't be jumping all around the place trying to put square pieces in the round fucking. Come on, man.
I didn't get that from the phone call.
I didn't get that. I did not get that from, and it was a series of phone calls. I didn't get that, even if you put them all together. I didn't get that. Like, come on. And is this the way that you all put evidence together? Is this just like how y'all put the evidence together when it came to the diamond teardrops remember that testimony? Mm-hmm. What was it, little Uzi Vert? And they said they were gonna kill him because he had 25 on his head or something like that, but really it turned out to be something completely different than what they were selling it as. Right. They did the same shit with the tweets when the tweets was coming out. They did the same shit with the album and the artwork. Like everything that they do, they are interpreting it to be something that it's not. And the judge is letting them get away with it. It's unbelievable. Yeah, the judge, Mr. Steele needs to stop begging. Bobby says, "Why still often at the judge? Please, please," or "Judge, I'm just asking you." It's ridiculous. Yeah, I don't know why he is begging. I don't know why he's begging. It hasn't worked. It's not gonna work. All you need to do is state your record. Make your record. Make your record. Don't try to curry favor. You're not making friends. Right. You're not there to make friends. You're not there to not piss him off. Right. You know what I mean? Like, so what if he's angry that you're objecting? Be angry. Scratch your ass and get glad.
Ooh. So, for all the reasons stated, Your Honor, we would exit. You said overrule the objection.
I'm going to overrule the objection, Mr. Steele. I will give you a continuing objection. I'm going to note that you've moved for mistrial once again. I'll also note that you have asked the court for a mistrial again before the positing of the next question. So, with that.
You know, that means absolutely fucking nothing. I'm going to make a note that it means nothing.
Is granting that continuing objection? Are you granting it to all of us?
The Hardy rule applies unless otherwise stated. So it would apply for all of you. The motion for mistrial as well as the continuing objection.
I'll ask for a motion to sever parties then.
Okay, I'm going to deny that motion at this point in time, sir.
105 instruction.
And I will deny that as well at this time. Okay, can we call
a 105 instruction? You're denying a 105? 105 is a limiting instruction when you're asking the court to instruct the jury on how they're supposed to.
No, sir, I'm not gonna strike that at this point in time.
I'm not sure the court is recessing for the evening, but the attorneys have a quick cover. At least this attorney has a quick cover.
Yes, you may. Yes, all of you can have a comfort break. Why don't we take 10 minutes?
I don't like him.
Okay? All right.
Man, if I was on this trial, it would have been a whole different case. I'm not even playing. I'm sorry. I'm not.
I think this is a good breaking point.
This has been 2 hours. Hopefully going forward, and I've been saying this, that the cross could be a little bit more effective. I think that they really need to use leading questions in your cross examination, and Steele is not doing that. He hasn't been doing that this entire trial. He gets up there and he basically starts asking questions as if he's on direct, and it doesn't work. And it causes them to object, and then it causes the judge to sustain all the objection.
Do you see the prosecutor getting any closer to a conviction as a former prosecutor yourself, based on the way this evidence has been presented?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I do not see it. I don't see them being able to pull this together. First of all, it's just too voluminous. It's going to be too voluminous by the end of this trial, and the jury will just be, in a quagmire of a bunch of evidence that doesn't amount to anything. And the fact that this person took an Alford plea,
right?
That means that he didn't admit any guilt.
So why would he get understand?
Why is any of his shit admissible? He didn't admit any guilt. He basically said, you know what? Okay, I'll take a plea because I will acknowledge that the justice system is fucked up, and if I go to trial, I probably will lose, not because I'm guilty, but because the justice system is fucked up and I'm brown. You know what I mean? And so sometimes people avail themselves because the very real possibility of you being convicted at trial, is so great. And so the fact that he took an Alford plea, which doesn't require what's called inculpation or allocution, where you have to give a factual recitation as to how and why you're guilty of those charges. He didn't do that.
Gunner did the same thing. Gunner took Alford.
Gunner did the same thing. And it's y'all allowing them to take Alford pleas, but then you want to use that plea as some sort of indication of guilt. They're not admitting their guilt. That's the problem I'm having. They're not admitting guilt.
We've seen this with Tick as well.
I don't know. Tick took an Alford plea also. I don't remember what he's. I don't remember him. I don't know. He didn't take an Alford plea because he was. They went over his allocution.
Right.
They went over his allocution. So, yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous at this point. I don't know. We'll continue to watch and see what happens. I don't know what the process is in Georgia for trying to go over Judge Glanville's head. I'm sure that there are no interlocutory appeals, meaning that there's nothing they could do until there's a final judgment. Typically, in a criminal case, you cannot appeal interim orders, right? So all these decisions that the court is making, they can only preserve the record for an appeal after the trial is over, after there's a final judgment, right? And so I don't know if they could go to an administrative law judge if there's a judge over him, but they need to do something.
He's a chief judge.
Oh, wow. That's a sad testament to the court system down there in Georgia. I'm sorry. That's a sad and frightful testimony to the court system down there. If he's the chief judge, that's sad. That's frightening.
Having Attorney Shabazz in the Fulton County Courthouse in front of this judge would be monumental.
Yeah, it wouldn't go well. He would need another dog. If I was on the trial, he would need another fucking support animal. I'm not having none of that.
Hold on a second. Hold that thought right there. put this disclaimer up.
You
see what she's doing.
Disclaimer.
I'll get in front of the judge tomorrow, and he's gonna
Okay.
say, Mr. Byron, give me some more details on that attorney you had on your
Go
live.
ahead, give them all the details you want. Go ahead, I'm standing on business.
Ladies and gentlemen, you see what she's doing to me. Your Honor, she's my guest. I love her to death, but she has her own mind and her own opinion.
I sure do.
She has the First Amendment right.
And I happen to teach the federal rules of evidence, so I kind of know these things. I kind of know it like the back of my hand. Like seriously, come on.
Okay, this clip's probably gonna go viral.
I don't really care about none of that. I just want them to have a fair trial.
No,
that's all. I just want them to. I just want any criminal defendant, and that includes Donald Trump. I just want them to have a fair trial, because if they don't get a fair trial, it's a very slippery slope, and that means that the next person may not get a fair trial, and that's not something that we want, because that will inevitably fall on brown people more than anyone else. So, all right, y'all. Thank you, fam. I appreciate the love. I love y'all. I definitely will be back soon. Last day of class is next week, Friday, for my college. I'm already finished with law school, but they just had final exams, so I'm still grading essays for law school. But I'm almost done. And I will be back with Dennis. I will be back on my own YouTube channel more often and more regularly. There will be more golf, because it's almost summertime.
Before you leave, I know you're about to leave, but
I am.
We had to talk real quickly about what's happening in New York, the Donald Trump case.
Okay.
We had Michael Cohen on the stand. We had Stormy Daniels on the stand on Friday. What the heck is going on? Why was she even called?
Okay, so first, before we talk about that really quickly, Weinstein's conviction was reversed by the Court of Appeals here in New York, right? So everybody knows that Harvey Weinstein was convicted of sexual assault, and at that trial, they admitted testimony from other women who were not the complainants in this trial. They weren't the ones who were making the allegations for which the charges have been brought. They were what we call Molyneux witnesses. Molyneux is a case, Moleneaux, Molyneux, which basically allows for a prosecutor to introduce other bad acts or prior or charged crimes to prove some element in this crime. So to prove motive, your opportunity, intent, something to that effect, right? The court said allowing those witnesses to testify didn't prove any of those things, and in fact just denied him a fair trial. And they went over a lot of other things. The same thing is happening in the Trump case. Trump has been charged with falsifying business records. That had absolutely nothing to do with Stormy Daniels. The fact that they allowed her to get on that stand and start talking about sexual, intimate details is highly prejudicial to a defendant in front of a jury of women, married men, Christians, religious folk, whatever the jury is made up of. Any one of them could feel some kind of way about the fact that he may have had an extramarital relationship, affair, sex with a porn star. None of that shit should have come in a falsifying documents case. Falsifying documents.
Let me ask you a question. Could they argue that, we needed Stormy Daniels because we wanted to let the jurors know why he didn't want the information?
Stormy Daniels didn't provide that testimony. She didn't provide that testimony. In fact, Hope Hicks testified that the reason he didn't want that information out was because he didn't want Melania to know.
Right.
That's what Hope Hicks said after she started crying.
Right.
Before or after, at some point. Right. Michael Cohen is going to come in and say, I got this money for that. I got this money. He came in and he testified, I got the money, and he directed me to do this with the money and to do this with the money. That's where that's coming in. Her testimony, wholly irrelevant, and incredibly prejudicial. If they do manage to get a conviction, I'm calling that it will be overturned by the Court of Appeal. Now, here's the other thing. If he does get convicted, he's facing an E felony, E as in Edward. That is the lowest felony in New York. It goes from A as in apple, that's murder, kidnapping, and and over 8 ounces of a narcotic.
One level above a misdemeanor, the high top.
Right, right. One level above a misdemeanor, meaning that if he get convicted, he could get probation, right? He doesn't have any prior conviction. He probably will not be facing any significant jail time. He could be the very first president of the United States on probation.
And Barack Obama
on probation. Right? You shut up. I gotta go find the clip with Godfrey doing Barack Obama as the probation officer for Donald Trump. That was hilarious. Hilarious. Yeah, go check that clip out. I popped up on the Godfrey show. What was that? Last week. I gotta go find the clip. We'll find it.
Now, Robert said this. Did you see his comment?
Let's see.
You're perplexed,
Bobby. You're perplexed. I have that effect on men. In the ladies' view, your opinion is that you don't see a guilty verdict, which I presume you're in favor of. However, your attitude appears inconsistent. Okay, the problem is that you have a presumption, and it's unfounded. It's unfounded, Robert. Right? Because there's no way you could presume that I would be in favor of anything. I haven't.
Right.
I haven't given you any indication of that whatsoever.
Robert, where did you get that from, Robert?
Yeah, where'd you get that from, Robert? Right? Yeah. So no, I want him to have a fair trial, and however that ends up is how it ends up. I really have no skin in the game, right? I want every criminal defendant in this country to have a fair trial. That's it. That's it. And however it ends, yeah, that's justice.
Right.
Right. When you have a fair trial, whatever the outcome is, that's justice. So that's what I'm talking about. Right. So and so sometimes, Robert, I'm not sure if you just tuning in, you might not be too familiar with me. I tend to try to remove the emotion from my analysis, right? So it really doesn't matter. I don't have a which way it should go. I'm giving you the information, right? And based on my training, experience, and education, I'm predicting what I think will happen. I have no feeling about that prediction, right? And so I hope that clarifies that for you.
Well, his follow-up is that because you say you don't think there'll be a guilty verdict.
Yeah, based on the evidence, on the evidence that I've seen so far, I don't think there's going to be a guilty verdict. And I feel like that about both of these cases, the Trump case and the YSL trial. I just don't see the evidence there. I just don't.
So if it was a vote, if it went to jurors today, it would be a not guilty. And I think that's the consensus right now.
So that should always be the case, right? And that's one of the things that when I'm doing jury selection, when I'm doing voir dire or voir dire, however you want to pronounce it, that's one of the things that I ask jurors, when I'm talking to them, right? If the hour is late, are you going to abandon your verdict? Oh, no, I'm sorry. I asked him if you had to vote right now, what would your vote be? And they would say something like, well, I haven't heard any evidence. Exactly. So what would your verdict be? And then they look confused and perplexed, right? And then I'm like, you haven't heard any evidence, which means that my client is not guilty. The law says that he's presumed innocent. That means he's not guilty unless and until you've heard evidence, competent evidence that has convinced you beyond a reasonable doubt of his guilt. And since you haven't done that, you have to vote not guilty. The law requires it. Right? And sometimes jurors don't understand their role. They don't understand that you start at not guilty. You don't start in the middle at I'm not sure. You don't start at let me see who can convince me more. You start at not guilty. They have to convince you of guilt. And if they don't,
do you think jurors come into a case?
No.
Oh,
No, I don't think they come in understanding their role. I don't think they come in.
That was the question.
Okay, go ahead.
The question was, do you think they come in with the presumption that the defendant is guilty and you have to prove that he's not guilty?
Absolutely, which is why, as a defense attorney, that's another thing that you should address as soon as you start your voir dire. I always ask the whole panel, how many people, when you walked in here and you saw my client, how many people said, I wonder what he did? And then the hands go up. And then I say, now I want to know how many people says, I wonder what he's accused of. And then I wait. And then all the light bulbs come off. You know, people are like, oh shit, there's a difference between I wonder what he did and what he's accused of, right? Because you presumed he did something.
Right.
And that's not the presumption you should walk in here with, right? You have to understand that it's just an accusation and that he is presumed innocent, right? And so that's where I start. And if I don't get jurors who can understand that, I'm kicking you, baby.
Kick him out.
I'm kicking you. I'm gonna get you out of there. I'm gonna get you out of there. You know, so this, you know, jury selection is super important, and these are the things that you want to make sure you ask these questions early on, right? I asked that of the whole entire panel just so I can get them to have an understanding. You know, another thing is, you know, you read the daily news, you read the paper, and you read that some dude threw his kid off the roof, right? And the first thing you do, they need to put that motherfucker under the jail. But you don't know anything other than what the headline said. But we all do that, right? And so I have to make sure that they don't do that when we are in our trial.
Right.
Right.
Now, the jury, you had to pick for your client. Help pick.
Yeah.
I said, not the jury that you got to help pick.
Right. Not the jury I need. Not for the decisions I need y'all to make.
Man, I had so many questions, but we're gonna reconvene. And tomorrow's testimony starts at 1 p.m.
Oh wow!
So we have, you know, that's why I'm up late, ladies and gentlemen. Your brother said, "Why is he up late?"
Well, you get to sleep late. Okay, that's good. I got Pilates in the morning.
Yeah, 1 extra hour. But this has been informative, and I think that it's important as this trial proceeds to the new year that we do analysis, because we still have another 130 plus prosecution witnesses. And this is
ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
This judge has no control over this trial. Yeah. Absolutely not. He needs to exercise his 611 ability and control this case. And
absolutely. I would agree on that, Yana. No banners. I agree. I've been in.
Put a cap on it or something.
Something.
You know, something.
Well, the prosecution has a right to put on their case, but wait, no. But you also have, this is
you have a right to circumscribe and curtail.
Yeah, this is
have them pare it down so that we're not getting cumulative testimony. You got people coming in saying the exact same thing.
Fiscally irresponsible.
That part.
Let's get this thing moving. You got all these people sitting in Fulton County Jail waiting for their day in court. Don't have a lot of judges, so your time. You could literally clear about 20 or 30 cases.
Wow.
Doing
this. That's sad.
You gotta make it make sense,
It makes no sense.
Get these people out of here. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, please make sure you are following this sister because she knows her stuff. And I always bring in when I need the hard questions to ask as it relates to criminal cases. She knows it. Listen, I'm gonna tell you something. This woman has gotten people off for murder cases.
That is true.
She don't play a lawyer on TV or Law and Order. She is a lawyer.
That is true. There's a whole lot of folk that owe their whole life to me.
Oh yeah. By the way, I might.
It's all good.
We have this thing on YouTube called Hood Court. I gotta give you the background information on the Hood Court.
Okay.
I might need you coming in because
they
have called me to the. They have called me. I got subpoenaed through the Hood Court.
Hood Court. Okay. Bring it on. There's two things that I am: hood and court. That's my favorite things to go together.
And guess who's the judge? Pammy Pam.
Oh shit! Oh, that's hilarious. Okay,
we're going to talk about it. But thank you.
Right, cool.
Thank you.
All right, thank you for having me, Dennis. Y'all have a good night.
Absolutely, ladies and gentlemen.
I love you.
I really do. I really do. Peace. I really do. With that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm out too. Until next time. Peace.